Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tom O'Mahony here for the very inaugural first podcast of mine. It's Buckshot. I've named it Buckshot. I don't know why. I like the word Buckshot. It's the name of my new show that's out now at the minute, touring around the country. But I think it's all encompassing. You don't really need to know what it means or anything. It just sounds like a fun thing to say. If any of you recognise me from the Tom and Jerry show, fear not, it's not that myself and Jerry have parted ways or anything, but it's we're busy. Jerry's flat out with the Whispers and a couple of other things, and he's just moved house. I've just moved house. So I figured, you know what, instead of just ramblingly talking to myself, which I am doing right now technically. I mean, I am talking into an electronic machine, but I figure why not start an old podcast? You never know, Jerry might start his own too. But we will be back with more Tom and Jerry stuff before the summer, I would imagine, when things kind of quieten down and whatnot. So that's about the size of it, really. This is the new show, and the way it'll be going forward is I'll be doing podcasts, and when I hang out with interesting people and whatnot, whether it's comedians or just people I meet, you know, could be a dude sweeping the street. If they're anyway interested in stringing an old story together, we might have a chat, and I'll put that up too. And I'll have at least one out a week, if not two, but there'll be at least one a week. I've still to choose a day. I've got to get this produced, so I don't know what day of the week it even is, but it should be out in the next day or two anyway. So strap in, get ready, and here we go with the first podcast. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the first ever podcast. Feels nice, doesn't it? Slow and somber. Fuck that. I can't do can't do the yoga voice. Yeah, so this is the first ever one, so I'm talking by myself. Excuse me if you hear me slurping or whatever. I'm drinking tea like a bastard. It's my vice. It's no whiskey in it this time of the day anyway, but yeah, so I'll be just shooting the shit, and that's the whole thing. So I was going to do this last week, but things got a bit crazy with gigging and stuff like that. I had the notion it popped up to me on St. Patrick's Day, because we're not long after St. Patrick's Day. I hope you had a good one. Most Irish people, they get the fuck out of anywhere that's heavily populated, like Dublin and whatnot, because you could see it on Sunday night. The traffic driving back into the city was just insane. It was like there had been a match on or something. It was just people just get the fuck out of Dodge, because the place just fills up with just drunk foreigners who basically just want to buy overpriced pints and just have an excuse to get fucked up. It seems to be totally socially acceptable, which it is, in all fairness, it is. Herself works in the tourism industry, and she was in the city, and she was even saying like 10:30 in the morning they had like young Americans coming through the door, fucking locked, pissed drunk at 10:30. I suppose that's the beauty of it. Like when you're 21 drinking laws in the States and you come over here at 18, technically I suppose what it is in the Irish version is that's like you going drinking in a country by yourself at age 15. Because they're here at 18 just going fucking buck wild, drinking pints of Guinness. And Guinness, if you're not used to it, while the percentage is only the same as beer, like 4.3 or whatever, it hits me harder than beer actually does. It fucking blows me away. Like I had a mate who could drink 20 pints of cider, but 4 pints of Guinness, and that's in Florida. It's home time. Disaster. We actually had to, on a session one time, we had to feed him pints of cider to sober him up from the 4 pints of Guinness he just had. That was back when I was in my 20s, when shit like that made sense. You know what I mean? Right now, you go, like, what? In my 30s, you're going, no, there's no fucking way that happened. It's true. It's true. Same guy with Jesus. I'm sure more stories will pop up. Reference stories to this guy. Just a phenom, as they would say in wrestling. Not even fully human. You know what I mean? It's Jesus. Yeah. Fucking hell. To think about that kind of level of drinking right now. Woo. But yeah, there was I was gigging in town during it, and there was a guy falling asleep in the front, and Jesus. I was like, and I was asking the guy because he looked like a mess. You know what I mean? If he told you he was homeless, you'd believe him. Like he was just fucking falling asleep in the front row. And I'd asked his friends, like, what does he do? It turns out he's a florist. He owns an actual flower shop in France somewhere. Like, so he's an independent working gentleman, but just hung up his fucking responsibility boots when he came over on the fucking plane and just went all out. Just I'd love to know the thinking, like, because clearly, I mean, it's a city full of Irish themed bars. You know what I mean? Because obviously it is in Ireland, but they are just like the diddly diddly bars. There's enough of those. Like, there's Irish dancing in the middle of the day in a pub. You know, you're not in the real world. Like, you know, it's just fucking bizarre. But it is what it is. I'm guessing the whole fucking world. I mean, I know I was in America for St. Patrick's Day before, and I know that goes fucking bananas. I was in New York, and people just use it's not a day off, but people use it as a holiday day just to go fucking buck wild, and especially landing on a Friday too. People here in Ireland, Irish people went out on the Thursday night, from what I could pick up, because I was gigging in Portlaoise on the Thursday night, and the place was jammed. It was for the benefit of a hockey club. And I can tell you, about 1% of the people in the room played hockey or had anything to do with hockey. It was just something was on, and they were off the next day, so they were all getting fucked up. So people do use it, but come the day of St. Patrick's Day, you just want to be a lunatic if you're going to stay out for the day, unless you're willing to just get fucked up. Don't bring a good shirt. Don't. You're just gonna. But even like I was passing through town early that morning, and it was like 9 o'clock. There's girls wearing those leprechaun socks up to their fucking whatever, and lads going around. All out shame is out the window. I suppose if you come from a country that's used to Mardi Gras and stuff like that, where you don't have any fucking shame, but I suppose you do have nice weather, so you can wear goofy shit and not worry about it. But these people were going all out. I suppose if you get liquored up too, you're not going to feel it too bad, but yeah, that gig actually in Portlaoise was in Kavanagh's. It was absolutely delicious. It was myself and the wonderful Fred Cook. Fucking hell, it was class. Great night. Great. Not that it ever isn't, like, because they run a good show down there, but like I've done it, like, and it's been quieter and stuff like that. But I think sometimes people can be kind of pent up a little bit because they're, got work tomorrow. Or if it's the local crowd, you're like, that fucker over there knows me, so I can't lose my shit too much. If I want to laugh at a joke about, you know, Tom kicking himself in his nuts or whatever, you know, they don't want to laugh at it. But yeah, just a couple of other juicy gigs. Fucking hell, I did on Show, which is on Camden Street. That's one you should go to. Like, it's a cool pub, but it's upstairs at the comedy club. It's run really well. They always get a class crowd, and they're sound. The people that come in, even if they're drunk, they're just sound. You know what I mean? They're up for it. Like, and there's, you know, there isn't. Sometimes you get like people who come into clubs, and it's like, if they're on holiday or whatever, they're like, okay, you know, they can almost come in begrudgingly. Sometimes you get some little pockets of the audience, and they're kind of fine if this is what I have to do for a couple of hours just to kill, you know. Whereas these people seem to genuinely want to come for the crack, like, you know. And it was class. The brilliant Sharon Mannion was on before in the first half. She one of the best female comedians in the country. She's one of the best comedians in the country, like, but she's so much on her plate now. You don't see her doing stand-up too often because she writes for a lot of TV shows, and I think she's got a new show coming out, actually, a new stand-up show. And it was hosted then by my good buddy Jim Elliott, the Irish-American. Well, he's not, I don't know if he's any, well, he must with a name like Elliott. I think I've spoken about this, but we've normally been drunk. But Jim has gone, like, he's lived here for like 10 years now at this stage, married to an Irish girl and everything. But even he was like, he's gone full Irish in a lot of ways too. Like, we were in a bar one evening having a drink. It's only a couple of weeks ago, and it was between shows. We said we'd grab a quick drink, and we were sitting there, and they do these tours around Dublin. You know, these people will take like a gang of people that are on holiday, and I don't know how much they pay, but they go on a pub tour, and they get like a glass of Guinness in each bar or whatever like that. And I mean, they don't drink all of it, you know. But these fuckers were all sitting there in their big parkas, and it wasn't actually a particularly cold evening, but they're just taking up the whole place, and they were large. They were large fucking people. Like, they were big fat fucks, a few of them. Not all of them, but a few of them were just, Jesus Christ. But even Jim, they were getting up, and it was a nice pub, but they were getting up, and they were like, oh, my, they were just being loud over the top. They weren't in sync with how the pub was working, and Jim just kind of looks up from his drink. He's like, fucking Americans. And this guy's from Washington, like... So he's gone full, but he's brilliant host. So yeah, that was a fucking juicy night. What other gigs was there? Oh, it was in Edinburgh. Yeah, I was in the beautiful city of Edinburgh. We were over there. We just had some stuff to do over there, but I just managed to land a sweet ass gig in a club called the Monkey Barrel, and it's shit hot. It was just like, it's only just opened up a couple of months, and you're thinking, it's going to be a back room of a bar or something. No, these guys had taken a full building, like the premises. They had their own premises right on Blair Street, which is essentially off the Royal Mile, which is essentially, for anybody, it's off like 50 yards from the main street in an already busy part. And these guys, Jesus, they were running it. It was embarrassingly good how well they were running the place. It looked shit hot, the decals on the wall and stuff, and the way it was laid out, the old cinema seating for the audience. And guy Rick Mullen, who I've known for a couple of years, he was hosting, and it was just, it was just shit. The thing is, you couldn't do, there must be some enterprise. If anybody wants to fill me in on that, you can do it on Twitter, Tom_O'Mahony, or you can email, actually, yeah, buckshotpodcast@gmail.com, because I have no idea how you would set up, because none of these guys, chatting with him, it just seemed to be like, yeah, we did it, but you would need like 40,000, 50,000 to get this thing off the ground. If you were to do it in the equivalent spot in Dublin, you just wouldn't get it anyway. You wouldn't get the premises because they're just gone so quickly. But for the equivalent spot in Dublin, you would want 40 or 50,000 to get yourself off the ground. By the time you paid rates, magical rates, because that's another thing I don't understand. I still don't understand what rates are. We had a shop for a while, myself and herself, and I even asked the guy who was taking payment for the rates from the county council. And I was like, what are the rates? He was like, well, and about a minute and a half in, I just started yawning. I'm like, okay, if you couldn't answer me in 10 seconds, I don't know what because they don't cover fucking anything. They don't cover your insurance, any of your bills, none of your refuse, none of your services, nothing. So, I mean, you pay it even if you don't have street lights, because we were in another premises and there was no street lights, and it was, so I don't know what the fuck it was. It's magic. You just pay magic. You still pay taxes and everything on every thing you sell. So I don't know. There must be an enterprise board or something in the UK, or in Edinburgh at least, because the whole place is full of independents. Like, it's not riddled with the stock high street stuff you see in the UK, which, from fucking John Lewis. I mean, there is a John Lewis and shit like that shopping centre, but that's down. It's kind of out of the way a bit. But the whole, like, the busy parts all seem to be like there's secondhand bookshops on main streets, like busy street. Like, there's no fucking way you're making any money, really. Like I saw one shop, and it was down like a street in a kind of a hipster area, but not what you'd call a big tourism area. And it was one, they were like I suppose they were a bakery shop of sorts, but they were a sweet shop, and they were dedicated solely to marshmallows. Like, when was the fucking last time you had a marshmallow? And how often? Like, everybody has a coffee, you know what I mean, a couple of times a week, or a tea, or or some sort of hot drink, so you can just put a fucking marshmallow. Like, even I could understand if you opened up a shop that was sold just purely jellies, or just chocolate, or I don't know, or maybe fizzy sweets. But this was, I mean, I'm sure it was tons of variations of marshmallow, and I didn't go in there. But the fact that they were able to stay open and actually go, this is a viable business, because no bank you're ever going to go into is ever going to go, absolutely, there's 100k to get your marshmallow business off the fucking ground. It's just, the mind boggles. It was fantastic to see it. It's great for fucking businesses, but yeah, the guys' comedy club, it was fucking class. They had a full house. Like, they're selling out. They're open 6 nights a week. They're selling out every fucking night. It's just great to fucking see it. Like, you know what I mean? But I was then in upstairs in Halfpenny Inn the other night. I think I'm there again tonight, actually. I'm doing two gigs tonight. All in preparation for my next installment of my Buckshot stand-up hour, which is going to be April 1st. Hopefully I get this out before April 1st. I should get it out. Like, it's today, we're the 24th. I should get it out. Oh, Jesus, no. Is it 24th? No. 25th? 24th? 23rd? No, today's the 22nd. Christ. Today is the 24th. Christ almighty, what's wrong with me? But yeah, I was in it's called Unhinged Comedy Club. It's upstairs the Halfpenny Bridge Inn Bar, which is fairly self-explanatory where it is. It's on the quays in Dublin, right by the Halfpenny Bridge. It's a great club, like run by Conor McDonough Flynn. He's a mad bastard from out Galway way, but he always gets a nice crowd in. That was sweet. Just trying out some new stuff. You can kind of get spoiled sometimes. You're trying out new stuff. You go, geez, that worked first time. That worked, and that's not how it. Unless you can there'll always be spots in this. There's a reason why you're doing a joke, because you know there's funny in it. But finding, you might think beginning to end hilarious, but when you actually speak it outwards, it needs to be slick as fuck. So you can't just tell it straight out the gate and go, that's good enough to go in the new show. That's perfect to go in the new show. So this stuff that I was trying the other night won't go in the new show, because it's got too much green on it still. So I'll be prepping it for next year. But it's just because you can get spoiled. You go into these clubs and people are just fucking roaring, laughing from beginning to end. You're like, oh yeah, this is on. This is fucking on. But yeah, unfortunately, that isn't right, because you'll go into another club, maybe across the street or something, and people will go, you can just hear that fucking cricket in the background. Certain points, and if the lead up to different things, if it isn't right, and how wording is everything. So you learn that as a comedian. That's why you have to stay grounded as a comedian. You rarely find, although you find them some now that are getting a lot of TV stuff in the UK. Fuck me, they're going around having their managers screaming at people for sandwiches and special treatment and a bit of a Beyonce fucking vibe. But for the most part, even very, very famous comedians, you'll find they're quite grounded, because they understand that. Because their expectations go up, because even if people are coming to see them at a show and they're trying out some new stuff, they're used to people screaming, laughing through their entire special or whatever. And when they go to a club and some of their new stuff is just dying on its ass, it brings you straight back down to fucking earth. Like, it's not like, fucking Adele. She's not stepping out on stage she has because it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter if you're singing, you're singing. Simple as that. If the song is good, it's good. You know what I mean? And they'll have 50 different people all look at it, go, yeah. And then they'll have somebody sing it for her. She'll listen to it, learn the words, and she'll sing it. Then they'll put it out on charts first, see how well it does, and go, yeah, that'll go on the album. That'll go on the album. It's, so I'm not saying they have it any easier. They probably have to do stuff a lot more equipment, a lot more stuff to think about. We just stand on the stage and whatnot. So that was, that's... the last couple of days gig wise. So we've moved. I was saying we moved in the intro. I was saying that myself and Jerry has moved. I think he's just moved up the road from his place, but they've moved into a new place. So there's flooring and shit going down, and they've a relatively young kid as well. So it's trying to tie up, and he, between the whispers and whatever else he's doing, and I'm gigging fucking abroad in Edinburgh trying to hold things down. So we moved out the country a little bit. Well, I say the country, like it to people that live like in an apartment in the city and stuff like that. They go, Jesus Christ, because their idea of the country must be 150 miles away. It's not. It's 28 miles outside the city. So it's not. But it's one of the few overly developed areas. I don't think this place has changed much. I would imagine in 60 years. I would imagine the buildings have just got revamped. The handful of we're in a little village, and it's fucking hell. We're right by the motorway, but it still feels nice and country. And for what you can get out the country, relative, what you give for an apartment, you can get 5 times the size of that out the country. But it's a fucking mad. I fucking love the place. Only problem is the crow situation. I've lived in the countryside. I was brought up in the countryside, and I have never seen crows. This is some Hitchcock level fucking crows. Game of Thrones fucking crows. Jesus Christ, there must be 80 crows living in 2 trees just right out the back of the house. And they all day long. Oh, if I stood out there right now, only it's piss and rain, if I stood out there right now, it would be just all fucking day. All day. I understand it might be social or whatever, but Jesus, God, First thing in the fucking morning, they're just going for it. I mean, there's loads of trees. They could have fucked off anywhere. I know you could argue, going, well, they were here first, Tom, which I suppose is a valid point, but I also own a gun. So I don't want to have to kill any of them, but I might just put a shot over the tree or whatever. Just go, all right, lads, just move to the trees down the back. Just take your nest. I'll build you new nests. Way better nests than the ones. Jesus Christ, am I actually talking to crows? Fucking, I've already lost it. What the fuck is wrong with me? It was, yeah, but I mean, the places, they're all wild fucking, like I was explaining to herself, she's originally from a very nice part of the city. But she always wanted to live in the countryside. And she just had a notion of country people were all wearing aprons and baking bread all the time and all the rest. Country folk are a tough breed of fuckers. Like your average city person couldn't live in the countryside. Like, and I'm saying average. Some people have no problem assimilating, but there's a tough edge. There's a hard edge to folk that live in the countryside, because you're going to get blokes who typically work, heavy intensive jobs, like, and stuff like that. And they're physically bigger people and stronger people. I mean, I'm kind of soft as shit, and people even think I'm rough, like, but no, these guys. We went into the bar next door, and their sound, like, we went into the bar next door just to say hi or whatever, just, because you're thinking, get social or whatever, and it was the most socially awkward. I'm normally good in a pub. I can make friends with anybody. But I walked in there with herself, and it was like mid-50s blokes, all just busting each other's balls. But we walked into the door of the pub, and it was like somebody had ripped the needle off the record. It was just fucking desolate. And Natasha asked for... she, of all fucking things, she went, I'm not going to have a drink. I think I'll just have I was getting a Guinness, and she was like, I think I'll have a pineapple juice. I was like, pineapple juice? The guy was like, behind the bar. No. And he didn't even have to look around to check the shelf. Like, he was like, no, we don't have that. She was like, an apple juice maybe? Like, she was, I think she was trying to pretend like she was fucking 4. But she was like, no, don't have any of that. So she hit him, and she was like, all right, I'll have a tea. And even then he was like, oh, and he was a nice guy, but he was like, oh, okay, fine. Because he had to compute how the fuck he was going to work this out, because he did not have tea making facilities behind the bar. But there was a family house is attached to the bar, so he actually had to walk out into the family kitchen out the back and like boil a kettle and stuff. It was fucking brilliant. With me, it's like Guinness. I'm like, yeah, all right. But there was just total silence from everybody else in the bar, and they all just started looking at the ground. And I knew what it was. It wasn't that we were brand new, because I'd say these guys are not shy, but it was the fact there was a woman there. It was like, oh, woman in our bar. It was, because I went in there a couple of nights later, like, and they were all, hey, how's it going? And they were all busting each other's balls, it was too cool. There wasn't a bump in the road when I walked in there. Whereas the fact that I went in there with a woman, why did he bring a woman? And I don't think they're chauvinistic. I think they're just awkward dudes who probably just need some dude time, that kind of way. And it was a Sunday evening too, so maybe a Saturday night it would have been fine, like, but it was just Sunday evening. These guys were just wanting to bust each other's balls, and a woman in the way meant they would have had to curtail their language and stuff. So it was, yeah, I mean, I don't see it as being sexist or whatever. I'm pretty sure a bloke wouldn't be welcome in the same environment with women to be like, oh jeez, now we gotta tailor our fucking, our conversations because this dickhead is sitting here. So I think it was along those lines. But it was funny, like, I went in the fucking tribulations of moving into a house, like the oil tank the other day. We're getting fucking oil or kerosene or whatever, and I went in, and I think I fucking could not get into the fucking the oil house or whatever, because it filled up 300 fucking litres of stuff. But of course the thing is fucking airlocked. So I went into the guy in the bar, because he knows a guy who has a key to the fucking... so I'm like, oh, Jesus, all right. So I went in there to get it. Now I went back out, and I'd blocked or unblocked airlocks before on fucking oil things. Not that I'm professional at it, but there's normally a standardized kind of thing, little screw head, and you let the bubbles out. You twist it with a screwdriver, and you let the bubbles out, and then it flows a little, and then you screw it back up, and all systems are go. And I'd done this like 5 times, and bubbles had come out every time. I'm like, what the fuck? But they never flowed. Like, it's supposed to flow out from around this little nut that you screw out. Nothing. But I'd kept my head back the whole time, because I figured it wasn't going to blast out. But if it did, my head wasn't going to be in the way. And like, it was like something out of It's like something out of the fucking Little Rascals looking up the exhaust pipe. On like the 6th time, I went, what the and just screwed it that extra half revolution. Kerosene right in the fucking mouth. Like money shot all over my face. Kerosene fucking bouquet. Sorry, that's filthy. Fucking hell, if you're listening to this in the morning while driving to work. But fucking drenched. And the thing is, I don't really mind the smell of petrol and kerosene or gasoline or whatever, but it's everybody around you for 2 days. Like, everything had to be washed, of course, because it just got over fucking everything. But I mean, I had a hot fucking shower trying to sweat this shit out of your pores. It definitely did not. I could smell it up my nose for 3 days. Like, I'm still getting hints of kerosene, and I'll be honest with you, most people would be pissed off by that. I'm kind of liking it. I'm probably been fucking stoned the last couple of days, if I'm honest. The bizarreness of that shit. What I'm just trying to think what else we did this week. Oh, yeah, we went for... I think I said I'm getting... I don't know if I did say it, but I'm getting married next month. We're getting married, but I'm getting married. And, we went for the wedding tasting the other night of the grub. And I thought it was going to be like a tapas situation. You know what I mean? Little bits of everything. So you could just, we'll have this, and this. Holy fucking Jesus. They brought out everything. Everything as it would be. And the brain, your brain is thinking it's dinner time. I purposely went there quite hungry. But I actually fucking gobbled it. Like, I ate like it was each one. And it was like an element of surprise on my face. It was like fucking 10 options of everything. It was like surprise on my face. Like after every fucking course, like there was 4 or 5 courses came out, and after every first meal, it was like, why the fuck did I just stuff my face with that? I've now got to gear up and take a bite out of it. But yeah, I quite literally made a fucking pig of myself. I did not know I could eat that much food. It's been a long time since I've tested myself with that much fucking food, and because of course in your head you're going, well, this is free. It's not free. You that has definitely been worked into their pricing, definitely. And but I was getting my fucking money's worth. But by the 5th dish, I wasn't even tasting. I'm just getting the meat sweats. You know them fucking sweats you get under your eyes. Does anybody else get them? You get meat sweats under your fucking eyes, like as an adult. Why? What? I'm eating to the point of I really, really can't drive home out of this. Like, if I could just hire somebody to drive me, just fucking disgraceful behaviour. Like, there was people next door, and I was looking over, and they were politely taking nibbles of this and going, lovely. I was wolfing through it like I had just been let out of a fucking concentration camp. Holy fuck. What's wrong with me? You think I've had some fucking decorum. I didn't. I made an absolute fucking pig of myself. And then sweated for like 3 hours afterwards because I'd consumed so much fucking food. By the way, well, you'll probably see it on it. There'll be parental guidance on this. I'm not gonna be too filthy or anything, but there definitely will be a lot of swear words because I do swear, and your average person fucking swears a lot anyway, but they just don't admit it. I love when people get shocked. Did he say fuck? Yeah, I did. Fucking did. Because I think it's an endear. I think it's all about your intent. Like, if you were giving out about somebody, you're like, look at that fucker. But you were like, fucking lovely day out. Do you know what I mean? The day already sounds better, doesn't it, when you've stuck a couple of old swear words in front of it? It just sounds a bit better. Yeah, fucking lovely. Fucking lovely. Beautiful. Fucking gorgeous. Gorgeous cake. Anything can be just dressed up with a few swear words. And they say, I keep on seeing these memes and links to fucking psychological tests on Facebook and stuff where it's people are more intelligent than swear. I don't know how true that is, to be honest with you. It's like, all right, okay. I'm pretty sure thick fuckers swear too. Like, and I definitely don't fall underneath the shit hot fucking intelligent fucking. I don't think I do anyway. I've never measured it. I don't want to know. That kind of way. It's better not to know how intelligent or unintelligent you are. But this is some other fucker's measurement. In fact, I did speaking of tests and whatnot, the car passed on her retest of the NCT, or for UK people, the MOT, or for anybody else listening, vehicles are tested once a year. I'm sure they are in every country these days, once a year, just to see is the fucking thing still safe on the road. Second time out, yep, it passed. It passed. It's so like the first time it's like and you think they've got a vendetta against you. Like, oh yeah, yeah, and they don't know who the fuck owns the thing. Like, you're looking because you can watch it through a window as it passes through the different tests. You're like a parent watching your fucking child. Really, you're disappointed in the child at the end of it if they don't pass. Like, really, but you want to blame everybody else bar your child. And that's the first time out. It was like a shock and something off the back. And in fairness, the guy was so nice. He was an Eastern European guy. He actually drew me. I knew what he was talking about, and I knew the mechanic I was going to take it to would know what he was talking about. But the guy actually drew me, and not a bad. It was quite rudimentary, but not a fucking bad picture of this thing called a drop link. And he was like, "Don't let your mechanic buy the whole fucking thingamabob. Just buy these bits, and this will straighten out your issue." And yeah, it was fucking... I was delighted because you're kind of going, that fucker, I'll get the same fucker again, won't I? I'll get him again. He knows me. I'd made up all sorts of stories in my head. I'm like, I bet he just wants to buy the car off me after. I bet he'll offer me some money. Fail it and then offer me some money. Or he'll have a friend offer me some money up the road and they'll fucking fix it and they'll have a fine car. And you're like, yeah, I don't think so. They go through probably 1,000 a week. I'm pretty sure. And if he was into that, if he was that crafty of a businessman, he wouldn't be working in an NCT centre either. So yeah, as it turns out, I skipped out there like I had done something great. I was like, yeah, like I had won a fucking prize. I'd still had to pay them extra money to retest the fucking thing, but for some reason, I came skipping out of the place going, I did it, not the fucking car. I did it when it was all positive. I did it. I was nearly shaking the guy's hand, like. What an absolute fucking pussy. Yeah. I got a level. I'm doing well at keeping the anger under control because there is a manic fucking thing. Like I've been getting better at it. I don't do meditation or anything like that, but I've stopped giving as much of a fuck about things. And I tried to make up funny stories, like especially in traffic, like when people cut you off and stuff like that. I've tried to make up funny stories as to why they did it. I mean, it doesn't stop me initially going, you fucking cut. But I do try to, like the guy cut across in front of me the other day. I just fucking, perfect example of where you're totally allowed to lose the plot. And he's like shaking his fist at me and stuff. But I just imagine that, he just had to, he had dance practice or something to get to. Or he had, his butt plug just wasn't fucking sitting right on him and that would upset anybody. So it just little things like that I found, if I just imagine little fucked up moments like that for myself to just see this would even tell you how much of a fucking psychopath I am. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better. But I kind of think I was reading a thing the other day and it kind of did anger me a small. But I was reading, there seems to be a few of them, and I thought the day of silly claims and stuff in the courts were done with. But there was a woman the other day. She got 17,500 euro for excuse me, drinking again like a calf. She got 17,500 for chipping her tooth, breaking her tooth, I think it was. She chipped or broke her tooth on a ciabatta. I hope I'm saying that right. She got one in a well done shop in somewhere in the city in Dublin. She bit down on it while driving. I mean, I don't know what sort of. I'm just imagining a fucking hippopotamus just hauling like a fucking roll while driving is going to be like you have no respect for your car or your clothes or whatever. You can't eat fucking stuff while driving through the city. It's one thing if you're on a motorway and you're just dead straight lines or something, but you're driving. I don't know. But anyway, apparently this ciabatta was a bit fucking hard. Had been sitting under the old deli lights a bit long or whatever, and she just munched into the thing like a fucking. And she broke her tooth, a tooth replacement. Now she was in some pain, she said, and all the rest of it. But I was reading it, going, but it's a fucking tooth. I've got 2 teeth kicked out of my fucking head back in the day playing rugby, and it didn't even cross my mind. It was like, well, I got 24 of them now. I'm down to 22. We're doing okay. And I mean, fair enough, absolutely, she got it. But the tooth was replaced for 2.5K. 2 weeks later. 15K for fucking painkillers. I don't know. She's got a new fucking tooth. She's got a new tooth out of it. So I don't know. It was, I know it wouldn't fucking happen to me anyway. If I could have broken all my teeth and just go, sorry, sir, we have we have an alternative. We're going to fit you with these timber teeth from the 1800s. And yeah, they're the royal edition. Yeah. Queen Elizabeth I actually had a set herself. Yeah, timber teeth. There you go, mahogany. On you go. Because there's no, I just fucking wouldn't. I think you got to be willing to stick with it too, or find a solicitor who's like Better Call Saul kind of a scenario. Because I don't know many solicitors, but I just can't imagine walking in there going, you want to fucking know what these fuckers did, you know? Because even he'd want to, because it's touch and go, isn't it? Like it's not like an open and shut case. It's not like somebody fucking cut your leg off in a coffee shop. You know what I mean? You know, that's open and shut. That's absolutely, we're going to get you $100,000 for your fucking leg. But somebody walks in going, I have a fucking busted tooth here. And it was a fucking ciabatta. And, I mean, you know, there's, like, will they want the ciabatta? You know, because obviously you can't imagine she finished the fuck. Maybe she did finish it, but, like, did they want it? Do you bring that to court with you? Like, just wrapped up? Or one of those little jiffy bags and a little tag on it going, you know, item A. How fucking hell? Maybe it's soft teeth. Did they test her teeth? Were her teeth up to it? But apparently, I think it was down to they should have told her how to eat it or something like that. It was very straight. The wording of it was like she should have been told that, listen, the corners of this ciabatta roll are going to be fucking hard as flint. So, you know, you're taking your teeth in your hands here, missus. But they did, yeah, 17.5K for negligence of some sort. I would have thought, all right, five, because you got a pain in the ass of getting the fucking extra tooth. You got pain for 2 weeks or whatever from the thing. I just didn't think. I'm going to be on the lookout. I'm going to be on the lookout next time I stub my toe off a fucking thing. That's it. I'm in for claiming. But does it kind of fuck you up though? I mean, say you go for the 17.5K for the tooth, like the Boy Called Wolf kind of scenario. Now, do you end up with, like, you know, you lose a finger in, say, the cinema or something because the seat snaps back in your fucking hand? But does it come up and go, oh, hold on, this fucker's looking to lose his finger because you had your fucking tooth replaced last year and you got fucking 17,500, you prick? Yeah, not at all. No fucking way. You can get used to life without a finger. Which is doable, by the way. I know a bloke who's missing 3 fingers on one hand, and he he's still farming. But yeah, I don't think, no, he didn't. There was no claiming for him. I think he got infected by a black thorn bush and just wouldn't have it seen to by the doctor, and just 2 fingers just rotted off. Like, that's the kind of blokes I'm talking about in the countryside. That's the kind of blokes I'm talking about. They're not, you know, Pal Arkin kind of scenarios. These are rough fucking individuals. Like, yeah, I'm not going to the fucking doctor. Fuck it. I got 10 of these things. I can spare a few of them. Like, that's some fucking alpha male shit, isn't it? Holy fuck. But yeah, and reading under, I must have been the same page or something, but it was reading immediately. There's a woman under, she got her hair burned from fucking hair dye, or head. She got blisters on her fucking head from some hair dye. She got 12.5K. She said the day of her daughter's communion was ruined because she got blisters on her head. Now, I'm not saying that's not fucking disgraceful and you shouldn't, but 12.5, I don't know. Like, I thought it was, like, once upon a time I had dabblings with the insurance industry, and I thought it was just new for old, kind of replace, you know, if the situation called for it, like, you know, you get them, and there was no money for fucking feelings in the situation if it was definite outgoings. But yeah, it was like 12.5K. Fuck me. I remember I did a TV show that a lot of you in Ireland would have seen, and series 1, they fucked up my hair in this hairdresser's because they were dyeing it. They wanted to dye it kind of blondie, fair, and dye out all the grey shit that's currently in it. What they sent, rather than doing it, the hair and makeup people, rather than do it, they sent me into the city to get it done. And we're like, look, we paid, they were their head, and if the thing, they're going to dye your hair brown and with blonde bits in the top of it. And my hair came out glowing fucking orange. And it was too late to change it back because it was like, by the time they saw me, it was the following morning. And they were like, fuck. So they had to put this powdery stuff in it to try and take the orange fucking, and they were like, maybe it'll die down after a while, like, because the girl had just fucked it up in the watch, because I'm going, well, that looks orange to me. She's like, oh, don't worry, the colour will die down. We dye it orange to look brown. It's almost like the Simpsons fucking, when they were making the Radioactive Man movie, and the guys are like, Why are you painting horses? Oh yeah, because they're to look like cows, because cows don't look like cows on TV sets. We're like, what happens when you need cows? Oh, we just tape a bunch of fucking cats together. That was essentially, I just went along with it because I'm like, yeah, okay. But the following day, my hair was still fucking flame fucking coloured, and they just had to try and dampen it down, but it still came across. So, I mean, I think my fucking head was, my head, it didn't burn or blister, but it was fucking hot as Christ. It did sting, actually. Fuck! What's the statute of limitations when it comes to fucking hair dye and burning your head? Maybe I can make some fucking money. Go back. I have the video evidence. Fucking, it was on national television, my fucking head glowing like a fucking bulb. No, Tom. No, Tom. Just shut up on that fucking idea. It's not going to fucking happen. I know it's fucking not going to happen. Why am I even bullshitting that it's going to happen? Trying to think of anything fucking else that fucking... Oh, yeah. Got made even this morning. Just this morning, I got made I can fix a lot of stuff. Like, I don't claim to be very good at it, but I'm all right. Like, I can kind of solve a solution. And the fucking oven in the new place, fine oven, everything worked, bar the actual oven bit. And I was like, there's no way that just that bit would break, would it? Would it? You know, it's like, what? Embarrassingly, like, after 2 weeks of being here, like, and no proper oven bit, guy just called in this morning. He was like, I'm here to check your oven. I was like, yeah, fucking thing. No matter what I do, it won't fucking get going. He's like, yeah, hold on 1 second. And he just pressed these two buttons and another button. It was like, yeah, it's that sequence there. It's a child lock. And the oven just worked fine. I was like, right, I'm losing my skills of problem solving, clearly. So I used to be all right. Like, I'm all right. Like, I can fix most things with cable ties. That's kind of, like, that's what I'm saying all right for. I'm not great at it. Like, you definitely would want to call a tradesman of sorts if you have a proper problem. But if you need a quick fix, cable ties and Gorilla Tape, I can sort out most things with that. But this guy, I was just looking going, I didn't even, because it didn't even dawn on me that an oven would have a child lock system on it. Has anybody ever heard of that? A fucking child lock system on it. Like, everything else worked. Like, and the grill bit worked. The hobs worked. Even the grill bit had its own oven if you needed. So that's what we've been using. So the lower bit, which is the main big oven, that was the only bit that has a child lock on it. And I don't understand. It's not a gas oven. It's not like the kid can, gas. It's not fear of gas. It's an electric fucking oven. So it's like, I don't get it. What? I left the guy go because it was like, oh, all right. But I didn't realize it. Maybe it was a particular brand. I didn't see the purpose of it because the kid can fucking climb into the other bit too and burn the shit out of himself. I don't know. Do washing machines have child locks? I suppose I don't know. Do they? What the fuck else has a child lock on it? Cars. Guns. It blew my mind. Like, I don't know. I feel like it. I felt like a proper tit. But your man was like, no, don't worry about it. He goes, it's a fucking... He's kind of giving me the whole spiel. Like, it's weird enough. Yeah, it's a weird enough thing. It's not in everyone. Like, yeah... I think you're giving me the nice old fucking pat in the head there. I felt should have slapped me on the ass and said, yeah, call the big boys when it's Jesus. Well, I won't say it was emasculating, but it was definitely it put into perspective the level of intelligence I may have thought I had up until about 11 o'clock this morning. And I've definitely gone down in my own estimations, if that's... Oh, it's always good to fuck a little reality check. Don't be getting ahead of yourself, Tom. You fucker. Don't be getting ahead of yourself. You couldn't figure out that there might be a child lock. And I had Googled the fucking thing, and there was absolutely no prick had said anything about this so far. It would seem, which is even more worrying, because you'll find no matter what you put into the fucking internet, you could have a tingly feeling in your fucking hair. And somebody will fucking give you 2,000 answers as to what it is. This was fucking dead air. It was one of the few things I've ever put into Google that was silence. Nobody was fucking coming up with anything. So clearly, either these ovens are extremely unique or rare, or nobody's as fucking stupid as me. And I kind of know which one I'm going to go with. So yeah, I'd say that kind of, yeah, like I said, shows coming up. We have the new show is touring the country. I'm going to shamelessly mention this. I mean, to the 4 people that are probably listening, next show is April 1st upstairs in Whelan's on Wexford Street in Dublin, and I can't wait for that one. It's just going to be, hopefully there's more than me and just the bar staff. I'm filming this one, so we might be using some canned laughter as I go through the jokes. Which, yeah, why not? It's the fucking room is booked. May as well. Next, there'll be more dates being added to this. I'm not pushing it too hard. It's just fucking up to my eyes with gigging for other people and stuff. But next one then is May 13th. That's in Care, in Tipperary, in Care House Hotel. 25th of May as well. I'm in Wexford, actually, in the very, very sexy Lantern Theatre. I would have done the Jest Fest, but I'm actually getting married. So it's right in the fucking way. And I'm in Ratoath's Venue Theatre on June 2nd. And there's a couple of more, like there's going to be one over in Galway at the Roisin Dove. Just to finalise a date on that, there's going to be another one up the country, most likely in Omagh, possibly Belfast. And I'm going to be in the Museum of Comedy in Leicester Square Theatre in November. But like that, I don't think we need to get too stressed about the November one just yet, but spread the word if you hear it. Like that, I'll be pumping out another one of these the whole time. Just like I said, just interesting folks I may have on with me, just shooting the shit. If I don't meet anybody interesting, it's not like I'm going to go walking around on the roads just going, hey, you want to be on it? If I know I'm going to be meeting somebody, I'll have them teed up beforehand, so they're not going, are you recording this? I won't be recording it from my fucking pocket in a weird way, like, although I may. My grandparents, I'm meeting my grandparents this weekend, and they're both in their 90s. They're cool as fuck, like, but I don't know how they would. So I may have to just sneak this in and just get a recording. Granddad has some good advice and funny stories, like from back in the day. So yeah, I'll wrap it up there, and I'll see you fuckers. I'll hear you fuckers, or you'll hear me. But dude, hit me up if you've any questions. I've lived a weird life, so I may have some obscure. If you have questions on life or relationships and stuff like that, I may have an obscure angle that you may not have fucking thought to hit up before. It definitely probably won't be helpful, but if nothing else, it'll alleviate some of the pain of what you're going through. Jesus, I turned into Dr. Phil in 2 fucking seconds there. Who knew it? Tea's gone cold. I don't know why I'm still fucking slugging it. It's as rude as fuck doing this. Like, these go against all faux pas. Like slurping tea into a microphone. It's not the done thing, really, is it? But then again, it's a podcast. You can pause this. You can listen to it on the shitter. Sorry for going there. You can do what you want. I could be on the bus just weirding you out. Who's that guy beside you? Does he smell? Is he smelly? Oh, fuck, he's smelly. It is him. He's just fucking dropped one. Now he's offered you a fucking butterscotch. Ah, oh, Christ almighty. Take out your phone and just start looking at it. Take out your phone and start looking at it. Stare out the window. Steamy windows. What the fuck? What route have we done? The podcast was going great, and then it went down a fucking route like that. Like I said, hit me up, Tom_O'Mahony on Twitter. The comedy page is Tom O'Mahony Comedian. The website is being built. I have a fantastic... it's going to look cool, because the guy that built it, he built one for these race car builders that I know. I sound like I know fucking loads of cool people. I don't really. Like, just these lads are cool. And the website that he turned out from is way cooler than the one they had previous. So I had a website, and it looked all right. But it was shitty enough. Like, it wasn't up to fucking par. And it's not like a comedian's website has to do an awful lot of stuff. Like, I mean, there'll be just links to gigs and some fucking videos and some funny shit I'll put up there and stuff like that. But he's building this one, so that one. But for now, if you want to email the podcast, it's buckshotpodcast@gmail.com. You'll be listening to this on whatever, and I'll put it at the bottom of the description. So yeah, I better actually get on and fucking sign up to SoundCloud and iTunes and everything and get this thing up on the road. All right, guys. Chat to you next week. Good luck.